Hi everyone, Lisa here from lcdesigns. How are you guys doing today? I've jumped on a couple of minutes early just to give people time to find me and find me. It's been a crazy week. I'm always having some sort of issue, it seems like. I'd like to show you guys my face, but I still can't figure out how to do the camera without putting you guys through like a mini earthquake. But eventually I will get it. Just let me know if you're here so I can see who's joining me. Today I think I have it figured out where I could see your comments, hopefully. Again, good morning. Today I'm going to be using the Warm and Toasty stamp set, and I created some projects to go around it. But first I wanted to do just a couple announcements. Right now we have the curvy Christmas and quite curvy stamp sets that aren't in the catalog. They're not in either catalog. But you can buy them, and they have the dies to go with it. So this one here is pretty much centered around Christmas, curvy Christmas, and quite curvy. You can use all year long for different occasions. But this is a bundle that's on sale right now. Well, not on sale, but for sale. And then there's a designer series paper that they have that coordinates with it. And it's cherry cobbler, Sahara sand, and then Sahara sand, and then shaded spruce. So that's a designer series paper that they have. And then I'll show you some of the cards that I made with it. It's this one's May Your Days Be Merry and Bright. So you can see I use the dies to try and do those curves. It was a little challenging at first, but once you figure it out, here's another one, pretty basic and simple, and just used a little piece of the curvy. Here's another one. And I did actually a lot of embossing on these. They all have embossing, which I normally don't do a whole lot of, but again, I was just playing around. Here's kind of a little basic one. Using the Sahara sand and the cherry cobbler. And then here's one that I made with the quite curvy for the birthday, wishing you the happiest of birthdays. So again, this is on sale, well, for sale now. It's not in either of the catalogs, but I did put the product number and everything on the project sheet for today. Which reminds me, now I have the project sheet posted on my page, so you can find it. And it has all the measurements for today's 3 projects, and then the products. And then down here, this is, oops, I thought I corrected it. I think I did correct it. This is my original one, but it has the bundle there for the curvy. And again, here's some other samples that were made with the curvy celebration. And then you have the choices. If you buy the bundle, you get the 10% off. So I think that's it for the announcements. Other than now, if you place an order of $35, I will send you all the materials to make the projects that we're gonna make today. Just be sure and use this host code when you're placing your order, and I will send you all the materials for the 3 make and takes that we're doing today. And I think that's it. So let's get started with our first project, which I think is fairly easy. One of my easier ones is we're gonna make this cute little box. And I love the colors, and it's not like a traditional Christmas color. So we will start with that. So we're gonna start out with a 8x8 piece. I normally tape that down because I don't want that moving all over the place. It's an 8x8 piece of Highland Heather, or not 8x8, 8.5 by 8.5. So 8.5, which this is already 8.5. And then we're going to score it at 2 inches on each side. So 2, rotate it, 2, 2, and 2. This box is really easy, versatile. You could use it for many different projects. You know, just dress it up to your occasion. And I'm going to be using the Snowflake Splendor DSP. So I'm going to pull out the one that has the purple color in it. Did you know that our... Why can't I find it? Here it is. Did you know that our DSPs, everything's coordinated, and on the designer series paper, it gives you the colors here that are in it. So you can coordinate it, and you can see right there, there's Highland Heather. So I'm using Highland Heather. So Stampin' Up is already doing the thinking for me. I don't have to think. And this one we're gonna cut at 6.5 by 6.5. So 6.5 by 6.5. And we're going to score this at 1 inch on every side. So again, make sure that you have your scoring blade. And we're just going to go around and do 1 inch. And on the cardstock, and I probably, look, I did it too hard. You have to go on the DSP, you have to go lightly. I don't know why I have a habit of pushing so hard. And I cut that. But that's okay because we're going to cut that anyway. But just to be careful, you don't want to cut it anywhere else. So again, we're scoring at 1 inch on all 4 sides. Like I said, this is a very simple and easy box. So I pulled my scissors out. So you can burnish all your lines. And then we'll cut them. So you could see where I pressed too hard, but like I said, actually we're gonna cut that tab up. So just make sure on your other side that you're gonna cut it straight up, and then straight up. I don't know why my scissors are sticking. And then we're gonna go ahead and add some tear and tape or adhesive. I'll go ahead and use some adhesive. I still have my snail, but with this, and it's only because of the video, I'm gonna try and do it quickly, is that you want to use a more sturdy adhesive. So you can use liquid glue, you can use tear and tape, or you can use Seal Plus. I would recommend those. And so there's the lid. So now we're going to do the bottom of the box. How's the weather for everybody? We are finally getting some cooler weather here, which I'm enjoying because it's been so hot. So on here, we're going to cut up these, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut these diagonally first, just to kind of make it less bulky. Cut. But yeah, we're finally getting cooler weather, but I actually have my mini or portable fireplace here in my craft room because it was chilly today. We've had so much hot weather that it's finally nice to get the cool weather out here. All right, so then we got our 4 flaps. So I'm gonna go ahead and use tear and tape on these 4 corners. But this past weekend, we were able to attend our Stampin' Up basically our convention virtually. Normally we would have actually been in Salt Lake City this year, and I was really looking forward to it because it was my birthday weekend and I was going to be celebrating with all my friends, but because we had to do it virtually, I wasn't able to. But we got to get a sneak peek at the new catalog coming in January and the celebration items. And I got my box of goodies yesterday. So I think once I complete this video, because I don't want people to have to sit here and watch for hours. Once I do this video, I'm going to stop it and then I will start it again, showing you all my goodies. So there's our box. So then our lid is going to fit on our box. And now we're going to do all this pretty ribbon, which I've shown you this before, and I'm going to do it again. This is actually the Snowflake Splendor ribbon. We're going to use that, but these, just to add this color in here, we're going to color the ribbon. You know me, I like to color ribbon. That's my thing. So I'm going to use this one. And I called him earlier. He was out of it. And so I just told him I would call him later because I told him I had this Facebook Live, but now he's calling me. He's gonna have to wait. So I'm using dark Highland Heather, and I just cut a strip. It doesn't matter what size or whatever. So I'm gonna color it. I'm gonna color half of it with the dark Highland Heather, and then I'm gonna cut the color the other half with the light. It's just gonna give us a different texture of colors in our ribbon. Yeah, my poor brother, this has been actually his 4th back surgery. Unfortunately, they've just, I don't know, the last couple of times, it's like they messed it up and then they tried to fix it, and then by fixing it, they messed it up more. And so I'm going to cut this ribbon right in the half. So there's your 2 colors. Oops. So you can see the difference in the coloring. And then we'll just cut these in half again. So anyway, he was in surgery for like 9 hours yesterday, and I was freaking out because I did not expect him to be in surgery that long. But like I said, I did talk to him this morning. He was doing okay. He was, you know, kind of out of it, but he was, you know, at least able to talk to me and everything, which is good. You know, he's been worried about this surgery, as we all have, just because of going into the hospital and the COVID, and just, it's a surgery that's been long overdue. Poor guy, he can't stand up straight, so we're hoping this all goes well for him. It works out. I tried to talk to the doctor this morning, but he was already in. He had already been in, so of course now I have to wait and call his office. So I just put those strips in there like that, held it, tie it, and then we're gonna just tie our bow. But see how that added color just gives it a little more pop. There wasn't nothing hard about making that. Just keep adjusting it, fixing our bow. So there's our bow. I like that color. And just imagine, you could even do these like in the blues that are in the paper. So let's go ahead and make our tag. We're gonna use the little bunny rabbits, I guess you would call them. So we'll stamp it in Memento black ink, and you know, mine needs to be re-inked, but we're just going to skip that. That's why mine didn't come out dark. I need to re-ink my pad. I've been using it a lot. So I used the balmy blues that are in the paper for the sled. So we will color that real quick. I hope you guys can see. I don't want to move the camera closer because I'm afraid I'll mess everything up. It seems like every time I move the camera, I mess something up. So I always go around with the dark. Normally I color in with the light first, but I don't know why I decided to go with the dark. And then just blend those colors in. This actually sounds like it's getting dry too. I do have a backup one. But, so those dark lines are just kind of creating a little shadow around. Again, just blend it in. You can keep adding color for as much as you want, but that's good enough, I guess. And we're gonna use smoky slate. This is the light smoky slate on the blades here. And I didn't do anything fancy about that, just colored the blades in, no shading. Then on our bunny rabbit, we're gonna add some petal pink to their little cheekies. We're gonna make them some rosy cheeks or blushy, and then I added some to the ears, just like the inside of the ears to be pink. And the scarf on the one bunny, oops, I guess I need to move this paper. I went ahead and did with the light and dark Highland Heathers. Just color these ones with the stripes. I'm using the dark. And then I'm going to use the light. I hope my brother wasn't calling because maybe the doctor came back. I don't know. He was kind of funny earlier. You know, when they're still under the influence of pain meds, he was actually pretty funny, making me laugh. And then what I did on my bunnies, I colored them in with Winkastella, of course. I add Winkastella to everything. I think I use it on every project today. So I just went over and put Winkastella on them so that they're sparkly. And I also colored in the little notes on their music book in the dark Highland Heather. And that should be the coloring for that. And then we're gonna I need to cut out the sentiment, but I guess we'll do that after. I don't know if I could fit up both. I should have put this down a little bit. Anyway, let's go ahead and cut this. And I'm using the scallop circles, and we're gonna. I'm using the regular one, the regular circle to cut these guys out. So we'll cut those out first. If I would have planned this better, I could have probably did them all at the same time. And then I'm going to do the scallop circle, which is going to give it just a little bit of color behind that white tag. And we're going to, we'll do the sentiment so I can cut that. Let me see if I could cut the sentiment and then stamp it after. No, because I wanted to stamp it first. But here, let's see if this is going to fit here. I have more paper. I don't know why I'm being like, act like I don't have any more paper. So we'll do the sentiment after. We're going to go ahead and adhere this to the scallop circle. And just get a little peek of that Highland Heather. I did mine. That's not good. But see, this is a good thing about using the the liquid glue because you can move it around. You don't have to do what I just did. So there's that. So we're gonna do now the little sentiment, and I did that in Highland Heather. And so we're gonna do sharing Christmas cheer. And what we're gonna do is I'm gonna do the snowflakes all over it, but I'm gonna stamp off first. So stamp off, then stamp. Stamp off, stamp. Stamp off, stamp. And just to put it around, it's not all these snowflakes are gonna show up on the tag, because once we cut it, but oh, that did just happen. Good thing we don't need that little portion. And there's 2 sides to paper, so I could still use it for another project. Just hopefully it's a project that maybe has some purple in it. Or who knows, I can make a new design. So, see how now that we're going to cut it out, all those snowflakes aren't going to show up, but there's going to be snowflakes on your tag. So, there's that tag. My goodness, I can't believe I just dropped that ink pad. But of course, it wouldn't be a Facebook Live if something like that happened, right? So with our tags, this one we're gonna just use some dimensionals and put it right up in the top right corner. And then see how the snowflakes match the paper. Snowflakes, paper, nice. So we're gonna go ahead and punch a hole into this tag. And I was looking for some twine, and really we only have the linen thread or whatever. Then I thought about, oh wait, we have this blue one that actually matches in there as well. This, I think this is like with the flower pack. It's a combo pack, but that blue goes perfect. So we're just gonna put this through the hole here and tie a knot. I probably wouldn't have made that way too long, but we'll just stick it through our tag here. Since I made it long, maybe we might as well just make a bow with it. And make a bow. My tying skills are not the greatest. I need like a lot of ribbon. There you go, tighten it. And there we go. So there's our cute little box. Oh, and I forgot to show you what was in the box. Was actually, let's see if I can just pull this off. I put some little gloves, mitten gloves. And you know what? You could get a pack of 2 for $1 at the Dollar Tree. So that's what I made this box for. I don't know, warm and toasty. When I heard of the stamp set, just reminded me of something to be warm and toasty. So look at how simple that box was. And you have a good $1 gift inside. And just by the beauty of that box, how cute it is, they probably think that you spent way more than $1. So there's our first project. I hope you guys like that one. I don't know if I need any more of these ribbons. I better keep them out. So let me get all this mess out of the way, and then we'll start with our second project. And our second project is gonna be a shaker card. And actually my friend Deborah had showed us, this was actually in one of our tutorials a while back, where she used this same way to make this shaker card. And then in our onstage event this weekend, another lady, showed us how to do it. So I'm going to cut this one a different direction. So we're going to go, I'm going to score it at 5.5 and then cut it at 4 1/4. But it's an easy way to make a shaker card. Just to remind us, oh, actually I still need this because I'm going to need to, let me show you the card. Look at how cute is that. It's a shaker card, but this is an easy peasy shaker card. So I'm going to need a piece of DSP, which is 5 1/4 by 4. So since I already have it, I guess I won't cut it. But again, this is from the Snowflake DSP. We're using Pool Party, which matches the DSP. Again, Stampin' Up has already coordinated everything for us. So we're going to move this aside and we're going to work with this, and let's do our bears. But the shaker part is we're just going to use one of our clear envelopes. So this 5 1/4 piece is going to go in here, but we're going to do our bear because I'm going to adhere the bear to the inside instead of the outside. So let's work on our bear. Where did I do with this white that has my big old purple, my purple streak on it, or my purple boo-boo. The pad needs to be re-inked, so hopefully there's enough ink. And unfortunately, there is not a die set with this one, so we have to fussy cut. So what I did here is I'm using the Pool Party blends, again, because we're using the Pool Party colors from the DSP. So we're coloring, this is going to be the dark. And then I think this time I did the whites are dark, and then the stripes I'm going to use the light. Because I want it to stand out a little bit more. But just color it in. And then we're going to use that petal pink again somewhere. Did I make, yes, I made his cheek. I do have petal pink in here. We're going to make his cheeks a little rosy, because why not? Let me color, I think color his little ball on top. Yeah, this card is this type of shaker card, since you don't have to cut all the, you know, the foam strips and the window sheets and all that. You could replicate this card so easy in much quicker time, I guess I should say, than if you were to have to cut everything. Like I said, when Deborah had showed this quite a while back, it was in one of our Sweet Stampin' Friends tutorial. It was like, oh, that's so brilliant. So definitely save a lot of time. So there, that's all the coloring on our bear. But of course, he's not done, because we have to use the Winkastella. So I just put the Winkastella all over the white. Kind of, I'm finding myself that every time I have something white, I just use Winkastella. It's not adding color, but it's adding some sort of, you know, like a texture. So it's just, it's white, it's glitter, it's shiny, and you can't tell if you could see it in the camera, if you could see that there's glitter on him. But I think call me the queen of Winkastella. I go through so many Winkastella pins because like I said, pretty much anything that's white, I add it, and then even if it's not white, I add it. So, like I said, I'm adding it to all 3 of these projects, so my scissors are like sticking. So we're gonna cut this out, make it a little bit easier. Something, who knows what I got stuck on it. Probably some sort of adhesive. Me and the liquid glue like to get in fights all the time. I love it, but I usually wear more of it than probably what's on my project. My fingers are always sticky and everything afterwards. Because a little bit of it goes a long way, and I just sometimes put a little too much and it's sticking out. You know, it oozes out, and then I get it all over my hands. So the trick here is, you know, you're just moving your card. You're not moving your scissors. The scissors are just cutting. I'm not doing the best job here, but I'm trying to go quick and show you. Yeah, I'm not doing a great job here. And obviously I want to stay in the camera, and I'm not, don't have it close up to me to see. But our little bear is so cute. He's ice skating. Here in Northern California, we don't get snow, but yesterday we had a lot of ice. You know, it got pretty cold that everything was ice. We have a hot tub, and so the cover of the hot tub was full of ice, and our deck was full of ice. So that's pretty much the closest that we'll get to snow is ice. So there's our little bear. He's finally cut and cut out. So we're just going to adhere him to our piece of DSP. And I kind of put him like over here. So now our DSP is going to go inside the clear envelope. And we have our snowflake sequence that I'm going to add. Excuse me. And I wanted to add some color. See the green in there? How it actually goes. And this is the one from the jars of Flowers for Every Season gems. So I wanted to add some color in there. So we're going to, and you know, sequins gets everywhere, just like glitter. Look, I already have it all over. And then we're going to add some of these gems. And you could put as much as you want, as little as you want. You know, it's how much you want to put in your shaker card. Want a lot of shake, or do you want a little shake? So let me get all this that's built and try and put it in there instead of me wearing it. And I don't know, didn't do very well, but. And then so now the clear strip, we'll just go ahead and seal it up. I got a star stuck on me. So go ahead and seal it up. There's another star. See, they're popping out everywhere. And then on this, okay, he's upside down. So now we're gonna need him to go down. I need my piece of paper to go down. But we're gonna fold this over, and you can just use Scotch tape. I can't get my paper to move all the way down. I'm gonna have to open it up, I guess, to try and get it all the way down to the bottom, because we're gonna fold that one. It's not really because of the sequence. There it is. Okay, so now we got it to the bottom. So then you can just put some Scotch tape, which I believe I have here, to kind of hold this, to fold this piece over and hold it down. Because then we're going to put tearing tape on it to adhere it to the front of the card. So we'll just add some tearing tape. And I add tearing tape to all four sides so that it's nice and secure and it's not going anywhere. But look at how quick and easy this shaker card came together. And your family or friends, whoever's going to receive this card is going to be like, wow, look at this card. And little do they know, it didn't take that much work. What took the time here was, you know, coloring the bear. So we're going to remove that, and we're going to stick that right here on the front of our card. Just like that. Now see our shaker card? Look at how cute. So we're gonna, of course, add a bow. We have to have a bow, and look at how pretty this ribbon is. This is our pool party sheer ribbon. Love, love, love it. In case you didn't know, green is one of my favorite colors. So pretty much any shade of green. And most people are like, green? But yeah, green. It's always been my favorite color. And more so, I've gotten into the teals and that. So there's our bow. I don't know where I did with my ribbon scissors. Everything disappears when you're doing a live, right? So we'll move this back. We're going to move it back to where it needs to go, like that. My bow don't look the greatest. I see that there's some comments, but I'm afraid to look and see because then I lose you guys. Oh, see? I did it and I lost you guys. Oh, I'm sorry. Ugh, darn it. So now we're going to make our tag, and we're going to use this piece one more time. This piece is coming in handy, even though I dropped the purple pad on it. So this one we're just going to stamp Warm and Toasty, wishes to you. And I decided to use Coastal Cabana because it was a little bit brighter and give it just some more color. And we're going to cut that out. This is from the Ornate Frames dies. And I chose this die because I don't know why, I just thought that like the border of it reminded me of like snow. So that's why I went with this one. Hopefully my head didn't get in the camera. And we'll just cut that out. And there's our tag. But of course, this tag has some intricate cuts in it. We can sit here and try and poke them all out, or use my tool. Hopefully, I would have used my my plate, but then I would have had to go find it. My precision cut plate. Since I haven't been really using my big shot, but I pulled it out because of the issue with the Stampin' Cut and Emboss magnetic plate. I need the magnetic plate because my stuff always seems to move on me. This is going to take some time. But actually, I can get all those pieces out after. I don't want to, again, keep you here forever poking things out. And so all I did here was I went ahead and added this on the front with dimensionals. And it's going to go like right under the ribbon and right here. Just like that. And that's our shaker card. Isn't that cute? I'll go take all these things out after. But you can see, here's my original. So super duper quick and easy. Okay, that was project number 2. Let me get project number 2's mess out of the way. I have glitter all over, or sequins. But that's what vacuums are for, right? I vacuumed so much of these dimensionals all over. My poor paper keeps moving. So our third project, actually, it wasn't what I had planned. And like I said, I've had such a busy week that I didn't have time to really create what I wanted to. But this is this is just a little treat bag, box, whatever. It's not what I originally planned, but it works. So I put some York peppermint patties in there because, you know, peppermint, winter. So with this one, this is Balmy Blue. And we're going to need a piece of Balmy Blue, 4 by 4.5. And then we need to score the long side. So this is a long side because it's 4.5 at 1.5 inches. And then 3. Then we're going to turn it and score the short side at 1 and 3. And this is just making the box. I wanted to use the designer series paper, and let me cut it out real quick. I used I think it was this one, the back side of that other, and the DSP is going to be 7.5 by 1.5. So let's cut it at 1.5. I wanted to use the DSP, but the DSP was not sturdy enough to like hold anything. So that's why we're creating this little box with the Balmy Blue. And this was 7.5. So 7.5 by 1.5 is what we're going to use this to actually wrap around the box. Because like I said, it wasn't sturdy enough. I didn't feel like the DSP was strong enough. So we're going to create a box. So fold all your score lines, and then we're going to wrap the designer series paper around it. So let me cut. So we're going to cut up these score lines. Kind of a typical box. And this is going to go like this and this. And then that's going to be our box. So we can add some tear and tape. You can use, you know, liquid glue if you want. You just want something sturdy that's going to hold it. And then one of the flaps, let's just put it on this one, is going to need adhesive as well, because that's going to be the outside. So we can stick these ones on first. And it's funny because I text all my kids and tell them, don't call me between 10 and 12. Don't call, don't text, don't nothing. Because for exactly that reason. So then we're going to fold this one over and fold this one over. And there's our little box. So with this strip, it's up to you. You can just put adhesive on it all the way around. This is, I just wanted to use that. So I'll make this like the back of my box. You know what? I cut this crooked. Let's go. Let's go here. Keep getting distracted with those phone calls. And this is going to go around, but I cut it crooked, and this should have, this piece will tuck under, and then this one will go on top like that. So since I cut it crooked, you can see that there's, but you can just trim it. So there's our little box. And then so for our reindeer, I already did these because I don't want to take forever coloring them. But what I did is I used soft suede. I stamped our reindeer again, there's no dies, so we have to fussy cut. So I stamped him in soft suede, and then I actually colored him in with crumb cake and real red. So this is the dark, this is dark, this is light. How can my caps look the opposite? But anyway, so I just colored in his bow. I'm gonna do this super quick, so I'll cut out the ones that I've already colored. And then, so I colored the bow real red. I'm doing sloppy because I'm hurrying, so then I go over the dark, the lines with the dark. And color in those insides dark. And there's our bow. So just so you could see with the deer, I kind of went around him with the dark. I'm like going way too fast and I'm doing this sloppy, sorry. And then just filled him in with the lighter crumb cake, and then just kept going back and, you know, blending the colors in, getting your shadowing. I did his hooves in the dark crumb cake. But you get an idea there of coloring him in. I did the dark on the antlers and the hoops. So I didn't do any kind of blending or shading. I just did those just so that they would stand out more. And just super easy. I love the blends. And you know what? I think next week I'm going to try and do some watercoloring because I really like the watercoloring. But I have not done watercoloring in a long time because I use blends for everything. But just outline all this in the dark. And then just fill it in with your light. And then even all the eyes. They don't have to be perfect. The ears. Just putting that little bit of dark color in there. I said I wasn't going to color this all, and then here I am coloring it all. Because I want you guys to see how easy it is. So, I mean, you could definitely go in and do a lot more shading and all that. I'm just doing this quick for the video. So you could see the difference. I went back and kept adding more color, but we will go ahead and just cut one of these out. We only need one. He's just going to go on the front of our box. Just do this quick and easy. But this is another project that which takes long is the coloring. So if you got to make a lot of them. And this is like a cute little like a favor. Like say you're going to have some dinner guests over, you know, just send them home with a little after dinner mints. But it's quick. Once you color, when you have to color a lot of them, it actually gets easy. You know, I've done that where I've colored in like hundreds of flowers or whatever. It gets easier as you go. You know, you just pull out the one color that you're going to use, you do everything in that color, and then go on to your next color. But, I mean, probably to make about 20 of these wouldn't be that long. And you know, crafting to me is a distressor. So, he's going to go here, but what I did is I used our new curvy to like put some snow, and I added Wink of Stella, of course. So let me, where did I do with the curvy? Because I forgot I was using those. What's back here? I forgot I was going to use this one. So it's this die here. We're going to make it look like we have some snow. And I'm going to use gotta remember how to do this. If you want I think let's try this way. Trying to remember which way the cut goes. So there's no right or wrong. It's just however you want your, yes, I actually did it right. And then we'll go ahead and cut another one. Let's go this way with the snow sloping up. It might be a little bit too high because our width is not that big. So in this die, you want the cut at the top, and I'll show you what I mean. Because these were a little bit confusing at first to me, like couldn't figure it out. But there's a cut line here. This side, there's like this lip, so that's where it's gonna cut. So you want that to go to the top of where you're gonna cut. If you do it on the bottom, your cut's gonna be this way, if that makes sense. So we're gonna add some snow to him, and we'll just, however you want it. Like I said, there's one piece would have been sufficient. So let's just go ahead and adhere to that. And then we cut it. And then you could go all the way around the box with this. I just put it on the one side, on the front and the back. But you can go around, and you could put a deer on the back too. I only did one. We'll just cut that. And there's our snow. So then now we're gonna put our deer on with some dimensionals. And I'm gonna put them on the box because I never get them right on the deer. And I should have took those little circles out. And he's gonna go right there like that. And then what I did is I just used the DSP to stamp just for you. Stamp it right on the DSP. And I think I did this in black. Memento black, so it'll stand out. And then I'm just gonna use the classic label punch. Punch that out. And then we're going to add that with a mini dimensional. There goes 1 and 2. And then just put that right back there. Actually, this one's showing. And then for the handles, I added the handle because I wanted to use this ribbon on one of my projects. So that's why I added the handle. It's funny how things come to you. I was like, I have to use this first in one of my projects because it matches this snow. But this is a seaside spray, but it's blue. So we're just gonna tie a knot in the end here. And we have so many pretty ribbons that sometimes I just forget to use them. And then it just depends how long you want your handle that you're gonna cut your, and then you can always cut it. Oops, I still got some stuff stuck there. You know, how long you want your ribbon to be. This is gonna go in here. Okay, not so easy. It's funny, I don't know if I've mentioned this to you guys before, but right in front of my craft area right here is I have a window that leads out to my backyard. And I have a hummingbird feeder that's right here in front of the window. And I have all these little hummingbirds always come in. There's one right now. And it's funny because some days they'll sit there and drink and then they'll just stand there and like, not stand there, but they're flying and they're looking at me. They're just like standing there looking at me. Or flying there looking at me. And these trim so they're not so bulky. But it's pretty cool. Hummingbirds are very interesting how they can just fly and, you know, fly as they drink, and they drink a lot. I'm constantly filling these up. So there's our little tag, but I am not done because I added Winkastella to the bow, and I forgot I added it to the snow because we want that glistening snow. Like I said, I think I'm becoming the queen of Winkastella because I'm constantly using it, and it dries so quick, which is nice. So then there's our little box, and you can put 3 of these York peppermint patties fit in there. And there's our little box. We have 2 of them. So I hope you guys like that. That was the 3rd project. I think that is it for today. Again, if you guys want these make and takes for these projects, just place an order on my online store. I will post the link to this video once everything's completed, once the video's, you know, done. And then be sure and use the host code, and I will get your make and takes. You need to have your order in by next Monday. And there's our projects. So I will send you the materials for these projects if your order is placed by next Monday, and I will get them out to you as soon as possible. Thank you guys, and I hope you all have a great day. Thanks for joining me. Bye.